Well, boys, after an exciting weekend and a couple midweek fixtures, we are back with more Premier League action. This is the part of the year where things are thrown at us left, right, and center. Yeah, you gotta be ducking and dodging in order to navigate your way through this fixture list right now. But before we dig too deep into match week 16, first off, thank you for clicking this video or clicking this podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you could, hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell, hit it with a follow, 5-star review, all those things that internet people ask you to do. We are also asking you to do. But what this is tonight, we got the preview of match week 16. If you are an adroit follower of the Premier League, you will know that if you're getting this podcast on Thursday, that the final matches in match week 15 are being played as you're listening to this. But due to the constraints of time and our schedules, we can't just release podcasts.
Space time continuum. There's a lot of.
If enough of you subscribe and we can make this our full-time jobs, then yes, we will get you that podcast.
Bro, this is
the night before.
Never going to be my full-time job.
If we ever make money from this podcast, we'll speed up our podcast release.
All right. Before we get into the preview, I got a bone to pick.
Oh no! Is this?
I've got a Buffalo Wild Wings sponsored, trademarked bone to pick.
Did you know that you can get 6 boneless wings or 8 boneless wings at Buffalo Wild Wings for only $6.99 on Wednesdays? If you stand on your left leg for 15 seconds.
Like a flamingo. I am well aware of that.
Tell them that Sean from Red Card Radio sent you.
Yeah, go for that. We are not sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings.
No, but if you want to, info.redcardradio@gmail.com. DMs are always open.
I got a bone to pick with this De Zerbi guy.
Oh, okay.
Let's go. I am here for this. I am here for this. Pass me a wing.
And put on the mature tag to this one, because in the immortal words of Conor McGregor, who the fuck is this guy?
Yes.
He's coming out here in post-game press conferences talking about we lost 3 important players last year. Okay, you know who also lost important players? Everybody lost important players last year. Hey, James, would you like to have Xhaka on this team?
Oh my goodness. Could you imagine a midfield of
Xhaka
Declan Rice, Xhaka, and Odegaard? We wouldn't have lost a game.
Everybody lost important players from last year.
Points.
It's the part of the offseason. Grow up, dude. We lost arguably the greatest Premier League player of all time, but most definitely the greatest Premier League scorer of all time. And Harry Kane, he's out there scoring a bajillion goals against dudes who make goat cheese on the weekend. Come on, dude.
Wow.
Everybody loses people every year. And he's like, oh, when we're just as well, you know what? De Zerbi, we're just as good as we were last year. Well, you know what, De Zerbi, we're better. We lost Harry Kane. We bought a couple players on the cheap. We got them on the discount aisle. They happen to be good. We're better than we were last year.
Bro.
So go stick it somewhere, De Zerbi, with your little sob story about losing 3 important players. Get out of here.
All right, Brad, what's your wing here?
No, I agree with everything here. De Zerbi's a little whiny little bitch.
Yeah, and everybody loses players, man. Grow up.
Yo, I think you guys are just monumentally misreading this statement.
Nope, don't care.
No, he's saying we lost 3 important players. Oh, woe is me.
Listen.
We're still where we're supposed to be. We're still right where we were last year. Look how great we are. No, everybody loses players every year. You're not any better or any less or any more worse off or any more better off than any other team in the league, dude.
Every time he loses, he uses the same excuse. He's been using the same excuse every time Brighton has lost this year.
The fact that Brighton and Hove Albion and their manager has both of you so riled up is beautiful to me. What he's saying in this entire thing is just like, look how great I am. Look how good I am. I am working miracles with nothing. And like all of these other guys who have to spend hundreds of millions of pounds and to say that you got people on the discount aisle, Sean, I think is maybe a bit.
It's not Brighton's discount aisle, bro.
I don't think that that's necessarily a truism, but sure, yeah, Tottenham lost players, but like look at like a team like Manchester United, like they spend astronomical amounts of money. Like Chelsea spent astronomical amounts of money. Brighton is never gonna compete with these guys, and he's like, look what I'm doing. He's saying he's tooting his own horn the entire time with these statements. He's saying we lost all these players.
Yeah.
I don't need them. Look how good I am.
No, he's saying he
"Look
does
at
need
me.
them.
Look
He's saying
at
the
me."
reason why he's saying the reason why he lost is because he didn't have the right players. That's what he's saying.
And I'm saying, even if James is right, get over yourself. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying.
Yeah,
Get over
man.
yourself.
Yes.
Stop being a
You're not
baby.
that good. You're not that good. You lost Trossard. You had Matoma in the wings. Your scouting department's saving your hind end. Like you placed like for like over there. Who else did they lose? Casado. They just come up with these cockamamie schemes to dude, fuck this guy.
All
This
right.
guy.
That very eloquent speech brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Remember to check them out on Thursdays for half price apps.
And Brentford's gonna beat them this week on the weekend.
That's right. Go the bees.
All right. I don't even know where to go. Let's. You guys can see if you're watching.
We
this.
should start with
Sorry,
Brentford.
Burnley's gonna beat them on the weekend. My bad. Burnley's gonna beat them on the weekend because they just lost to Brentford.
Oh yeah,
That's
Brad
right.
doesn't even know what we're looking
bad.
at.
My bad. I missaw this get.
Yeah, I also misread that. Yeah,
This podcast is off to a rip-roaring start. If you're a representative from Buffalo Wild Wings, hit us up. We're gonna actually start. It's gonna be a near top of the table clash. Villa versus Arsenal from Villa Park. And unless something catastrophic has happened between the recording of this podcast and the weekend, Mikel Arteta is suspended for this match. He has a touchline ban in effect in this match. Villa have had a bit of a difficult week, you could say. One could say they had a tough match last weekend. Who did they play? They played Bournemouth. It ended in a 2-2 draw. And then midweek, yesterday on Wednesday, they had to play Manchester City at home. We're in the past in relation to that match as well. So we don't know who won it, but you do, and I do now, but I don't now. But then they have another tricky fixture against Arsenal. So this is quite a run for Villa. Villa Arsenal from Villa Park last year. It was close. Of course, you got the whole Unai Emery welcoming, playing against Arsenal again. There's some underlying, maybe I don't want to say animosity per se, but there's certainly like he has a desire to beat Arsenal for sure. You got the whole like Arsenal is linked to Douglas Luiz. Apparently, Arsenal want to sign him. We're always linked to Ollie Watkins, so like there's a little bit of feistiness coming into this match.
and you forgot that before the Villa game against Bournemouth that they did not get the result in. They played Tottenham.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they went Tottenham with a break, quote unquote, Bournemouth, where they did not get the result, and then they are rewarded with City Arsenal on the back end of that.
Wait,
They beat.
what happened with the Villa Tottenham game?
They beat
They
Tottenham.
They did win that, but it's not an easy game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their run was Tottenham first, and they did happen to get a result
Got
there.
it.
You think you're gonna if you get a result at Tottenham,
me.
you think you're gonna get the Bournemouth one. You don't,
Yeah.
and now you're rewarded with City Arsenal back to back. That's a tough run. So
Absolutely.
for anyone, and included in there is City as a midweek game. So now you're compounded. Villa are in Europe, right? They're in the Conference League.
Yes, they are.
Conference
they're
League,
they're
yeah.
in Europe
So
somewhere.
So they've been rewarded. They've got all of their Conference League games that they've been playing, and now they get a league midweek game. So they've got to be exhausted by now.
And on top of that, Arsenal have an additional day of rest. So Arsenal played on Tuesday, Villa played on Wednesday, and then they play again Saturday.
Yeah.
They have the late kickoff on Saturday. Hopefully an extra day of rest will benefit Arsenal. This is a match that concerns me. Villa Park is it's traditionally a difficult place for us to go. We have looked relatively shaky on the road recently. Obviously, this most recent match against Luton, you would expect Arsenal to just kind of roll Luton Town, and it requires a 97th minute winner from Declan Rice for us to get all 3 points. And Villa are a much better side than Luton Town. So I'm legitimately concerned about this match. I think if we win it, I think it's a huge result. I think it's a really, really big result to help propel Arsenal on their title chase. Obviously, no one wins the title in December in match week 16, but I think it just does show I think it's title credentials essentially for Arsenal. It's a match we certainly have to win. I think if we lose this match, it's going to be pretty detrimental to us in the long run. But I'm legitimately worried about this game. I think it's going to be very difficult for us.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think you should be too extremely worried about it, because Tottenham dominated that game. We absolutely should have came away with three points there. Dominated possession, dominated shots on target.
You were at home, though. You were at home.
We were giving it to them, and couldn't find the back of the net. But sometimes that happens. And maybe it's going to happen to you. Maybe it's just Emi Martinez. Maybe it's just Ollie Watkins with a little magic late in the game that happened to us. And it's not a little magic. It's Eric Dyer losing track of a runner behind him. But
maybe really good goal.
It was a really good goal. Maybe it's a little bit of magic. But I felt a little. We recorded this a couple weeks ago, but I felt a little hard pressed. I felt like we deserved the 3 points. I thought we earned it. And so maybe that does happen to you, but I don't think you should be worried. I think you should absolutely control this team and put it away.
I mean, do I think that Arsenal's team is better than Aston Villa's? Yes. Do I think that Arsenal should win the match? Yes. But am I concerned that Aston Villa could present problems to Arsenal? Yes, as well. I think this is a difficult fixture. I think it's a difficult fixture for anyone.
I think you expect to win, but I think you're not shocked if it's a draw or an L at Villa.
Do you think that William Saliba is a better defender than Eric Dyer?
I think William Saliba is the best center back in the Premier League.
Do you think that Gabby is a better defender than Emerson Royal?
I think Gabriel Manglas is in the top 5 best defenders in the Premier League. So yes, I don't think Emerson Royal is.
Okay, then you should feel a little bit more confident in your team.
I kind of want to hear the top 5 defenders list right now, because Saliba and Gabby.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. It was Ben Davies and Emerson. Do you think Saliba is better than Ben Davies at center back?
I already said I think Saliba is the best center back in the league. So yes.
Okay, so I think you should be slightly more confident in your team.
Brad, in no particular order, if I've got both Saliba and Gabriel in the top 5, I'm also throwing Ruben Diaz in the top 5. Maybe Varane, but he's getting old. I don't know.
Varane that's on the bench that can't get his start over.
That's because he has beef with Ten Hag. I think maybe. Who's the cat at Villa? What's his name? Anyway, this is not good content. But
Torres.
Yeah, Pau Torres. Thank you, Torres. I don't know. I think
this is absolutely alarming that you haven't even mentioned Van Dijk.
Van Dijk. Yeah, yes, Van Dijk. Yeah,
you haven't mentioned Christian Romero. You haven't mentioned Colwell.
No,
you haven't mentioned Thiago Silva. You haven't mentioned Leandro Martinez.
Nope. I think all of those 5. All the 5 defenders I just named are better than all the defenders you just named.
I think you're absolutely crazy.
Bro.
I think Thiago Silva should get in
You
everybody's top
haven't
five
mentioned
defender.
Van de Ven.
Okay, you're being stupid now.
You're so in the weeds now.
You haven't actually. No, this one's not trolling. You haven't mentioned Botman.
Sven
Just because he's
Botman.
hurt. That's because he's been hurt. Recency
If
bias.
he's healthy, is he one of the best 5 central backs in the league?
Is he maybe? I don't think he's better than Gabriel.
He's really good.
I think he's good. Like, yeah, I don't think he's better than Gabriel. I know Joel's gonna be upset about that, and Joel's
Is he
gonna
better? Is he better
disagree.
than 45-year-old Van Dijk?
Yes, Joel. This I already know what Joel's gonna say, so I'm gonna pause for just a second before I say it. Joel, I want you to type your comment about Gabriel before I say it. Your comment, Joel, is going to be that Gabriel falls down too easily, and that he tries to buy calls, and that he is not strong enough, and that he's too soft. That's what you're gonna say. I'm already predicting that's your response. So, no, I just think that this is a difficult fixture. I think it's a tough match. I think that Arsenal should win it, but I think they need to be at their best to win it. And they have to play as good as we've played all season to win this match, I think. Villa are so good. Villa are so good.
This is if you want to win the league, you win this match.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What about a tasty one from North London as well? Spurs Newcastle. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, so we've been riding with the same front three for a couple of games, or maybe not front three, but kind of front four. They've shifted the lineup a little bit, which is what I've been asking for.
You hit up you call Big Ange?
Well, I texted in the chat if you guys have been paying attention to my own personal podcast, which is in our podcast
It's
group chat.
100% the group chat.
Yo, it's a wild place. Let me tell you, loyal listeners.
There's about 80% of the stuff in the group chat gets cut because it's ridiculous. But no, I've been saying that what we should be doing is running Kulusevski out of the Madison role and letting Johnson play on the right, and Hill, or hopefully at some point Solomon, play on the left. And that's what's been happening for the last 3 games, and it's been working. Like we took it to Villa, it didn't get the results. Took it to City. It's been working. Lo Celso's not ideal. He does give us some type of 8, more than Pierre would. So and Bissouma's never going to be that 8. He's always the 6. Like, he's not going to be the type of player that goes forward. He can hold the ball. He can maneuver the balls. I mean, sometimes his confidence in himself gets him in trouble, as we saw against City a couple of times when they press him with 4 players, he tries to dribble out of that. Yeah,
so salty about
he
that.
tries to dribble out of it because his confidence in himself is so much, but he's never going to be the 8. So you need to play an 8, and Pierre's not that. So with Sarr being injured, it's either Skip or Lo Celso. And I think Ange is just giving Lo Celso a little run just to see what he's got. Like, all right, roll it out there, see what you do. He's been fine. He scored 2 goals. So I think we roll it up with the same starting 11. I mean, we obviously take out Emerson and put in Romero. We roll Udogie, Ben Davies, Romero, Porro across the back with Lo Celso and Bissouma in front, Kulusevski running the 10, Hill and Johnson outside, and Son up top. But they're just tough to deal with because they just throw it to you in waves, man.
This, I think, could be an interesting conversation, and I kind of wish Joel was here for it. But, like, if you think, assuming everyone's fit, what would, like, your combined Spurs Newcastle 11 look like? Like, who from Newcastle do you think gets into the Spurs team?
All right, so let me go back to the week 1 so I can get a lineup of everyone being fit.
What are you saying, Brad?
Hope, Botman, Isak, Bruno,
Kieran, Trippier?
Just off the top. Trippier. Yep, sorry. I'm just going off the top. Trippier.
Hold
You're
on.
gonna,
All right. So
okay.
I've got their full. Yes,
Yeah.
this would be their full lineup.
Yeah.
This is everybody. All right. So this is their opening day lineup. I would take Vicario.
Over Pope. Okay.
I like.
I'm not
Yeah,
mad about that.
I really really like him.
I think if you said that match week 1, I would have slapped you. But I think after seeing him for 14 games, I think that's a fine take.
It's even. I'm not.
Yeah, it's a split in hairs. It's if you took Pope, if somebody said they take Pope over him, I wouldn't be
you
like,
couldn't be
hey, you're
mad.
an
Yeah.
idiot.
You couldn't
Yeah,
be mad.
Trippier definitely
Yep. Hands down.
over Pora. Out of the four to pick a back two,
You're taking Romero.
I'm taking Romero, and I have to take Botman. Over Van de Ven. I really wanted to pick Van de Ven, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
He's throwing Udogie
left,
over Dan
left back.
Burn, even though he's probably wrong.
Udogie over Dan Burn. Udogie over Livermento. Just to throw
Good
an extra
callback.
one in there.
Good callback.
All right, midfield.
Midfield. So I'm picking 3 out of these 6. Let's go. It's got to be Basuma, Madison, Tonali.
You're taking. Hold on.
Sumo over Bruno.
No,
Yeah.
it's probably Bruno. It's probably Bruno.
I think Madison's.
Right.
I think it's Madison's the only midfielder. I think it's Bruno, Tonali, Madison. That would be a monster midfield.
God,
That would be a monster midfield.
Oof.
Yeah.
Assuming Tonali can work it back to himself.
Yeah, Sar doesn't make it in.
I don't think.
Basuma's the only one that's. Basuma's the only one that nips the heels of Bruno. Like Sar doesn't nip the heels of Tonali, and no one nips the heels of Madison.
Agreed.
I think Basuma's the closest to Bruno in an argument, but it's probably Bruno.
All right, give me the front 3 then.
The front 3 is Son, Isak, Kulusevski.
I'm not mad about that.
Okay. Actually, it might be Johnson.
Over
Johnson
Kulusevski?
Over Kulusevski. Yeah, he's been electric since he hit the right.
I'm almost Son, Wilson, Isak.
Son, Wilson.
Two of their strikers.
Isak plays on the outside too.
Yeah, but I think he's most effective down the middle.
Yeah, they both played in the middle.
Not Anthony Gordon.
That's the only one that I would be splitting hairs on. Of like Kulusevski, Gordon. They played extremely. I'm dropping Miggy.
Miggy's getting dropped, 100%.
But
Even Joel will say Miggy's getting dropped.
I feel like Gordon Kulusevski play extremely similarly, where they cut in and they're really creative and they have good passes.
I think the biggest issue
run.
The biggest issue for Anthony Gordon is that he's coming up against the same position that Son plays.
Yes,
they're both on that left side.
That he would play on the left.
And you're not taking that, yeah.
So.
But Son can play in the middle. But if you're going to take Isak, which I would, then Son would be moved to his natural position, which is on the left.
All
and
right.
then in this between Almiron and Johnson / Kulusevski.
Yeah, that I like that. I don't think that Joel could be too upset about that combined 11.
Yeah, but I may take Johnson over Kulusevski. After what are we removed? What are we removed? About 12 months removed from me saying that Kulusevski was the best right winger in the Premier League.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
I can't wait for the Udogie fall off too.
So this is actually a question that I wanted to ask you. I've been meaning to ask you a couple of weeks about Kulusevski, but the problem is then he scored that goal against Manchester City. He scored a header against City, and he's been looking fairly solid. But like, do you expect more from him? Or is that a position like you think that you might need to upgrade over the next 18 months?
I think that this offense requires more than maybe he has in his bag right now.
I mean, he's not young. He's like 24, 25?
Yeah. It's not to say that he can't learn. It's not to say that he can't learn. Or
23, sir.
Adapt.
It's 23.
Or adapt. I mean, he can adapt, and plus he has the ability to play the Madison role. He has the creative ability. He has the vision. He has the ability to make the passes. whenever he cuts in, he's able to find passes off when he cuts in off the right. That was an advantage of having him.
Yeah.
Is the ability of assist as well.
I feel like I've been expecting more out of him. Like
Having a versatile player like him is extremely, it's invaluable. It's you don't want to let that go if you can help it. But I also wouldn't blame Ange if, when everybody's healthy, he loses his position to Johnson because he's looked so electric.
All right. This doesn't tell the whole story. He's got 11 goals and 72 appearances for Tottenham. I don't see how many assists he have on this website.
Okay.
But
it feels like more because he makes such an impact on the field, right? Like
Most
when
that
you
was
watch
in the
games.
first. Most that was in the first
First
January,
half.
first 6 months
Yeah.
that he was there. He had like 10
and
assists
I agree with
and
that.
like 8 goals. He's just
But it never feels like he's that
he's not out of
lacking of
position a
impact.
ton. Yeah. He's in
He's
the
not
right
lacking
spots.
impact. He is there. He is pulling defenders. He is doing what his position on the field requires. And that is the important part. So no, I do not feel like he has played himself out of a starting role.
okay.
I do feel like Johnson may have played himself into a starting role, and that is a completely different thing.
That's a different conversation. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's something that we may need to revisit in February when Madison's back, that we need to figure out. So, but we got a couple of months to figure that out.
Yeah.
Are we doing?
Yeah, go for it, Brad.
You finish. I was gonna say, are we gonna do score predictions here?
Oh, on this one, we could.
I think so. I mean, or do you want to Villa Arsenal? Like, we have the 2 matches. I think Spurs Newcastle spicier because both are dealing with a ton of injuries.
Yeah, sure. Well, what do you think it's going to be, Brad? What do you think it's going to be?
1-3.
Ooh, he thinks Newcastle wins 3-1. We'll let Sean go last.
Okay.
This is a squad. So Mr. James, sir, what do you foresee?
I think Spurs are going to win 2-1.
I honestly was feeling a 2-2.
Okay.
Just like a really feisty back and forth. Much like the City game. I really think that both teams are pretty feisty. And I don't see them laying down. I don't see us laying down. I think we're just gonna put our dukes up and just throw haymakers the whole game, just like the City game, and see who lands the last punch.
All right. Well, other couple interesting games that you could check out. There's a London derby between Fulham and West Ham. There's a battle up at Goodison between Everton and Chelsea. And then, of course, that Brighton-Burnley match that Sean and Brad are so very excited for.
Yes.
So definitely check out some football this weekend. Let us know in the comments what you will be watching, and then come back and let us know what you thought about the match. Hit us up on social media. Over there, that's at KSBradG. Down below, that's at Whitehart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Collectively, we can be reached at Redcard_radio. I hope you guys enjoy some football this weekend, and definitely make sure you check back in with us next week, and we'll break it all down for you. Until then, have a good one and enjoy some football this weekend.